and welcome to Mock the Week. I'm Dara O'Brien. Joining me this week are Andy Parsons, Catherine Ryan and Josh Widdicombe, Ed Byrne, Hugh Dennis and Gary Delaney. We start with a round called If This Is the Answer, What is the Question? On the board are 6 categories. Catherine, which category would you like?
Politics.
OK, politics is the category. The answer is 307 years. What is the question?
Is it, how long does an episode of Tumble feel like?
Is it how long before it's safe to play a wobble board again?
In many ways, the wobble board industry was the real victim of all that.
Is it how much older than her face do Madonna's hands look?
Is it, what's the age of Alexander Armstrong plus Tess Daly plus Claudia Winkleman times Blue Ivy minus Rachel Riley plus me plus the Queen?
Now you're off by a couple of years.
Is it how long before climate change will change Scotland into a viable holiday destination?
Dara, if loving you was illegal, how long would they have to sentence me for?
Really creepy.
Is it what is the combined age of 307 One Direction fans?
Is it without the plastic surgery, how old did Joan Rivers look? Tragedy plus time.
There's no plus time with Joan Rivers.
It's how long her body will take to decompose. Sorry, Joan.
It's what she would have
Peace out,
wanted.
Joan. Peace out. You OK?
When will the Jeremy Kyle show run out of scum?
That's it. Distance myself from that sentiment. OK, does anyone want to give the active answer? 307 years. Come on.
How long has Scotland been a part of Great Britain?
That's absolutely right, yes. Yes, the question I was looking for was how long has it been since the union between England and Scotland came into being? Ahead of next week's referendum in Scotland, a YouGov poll suggested support for independence is in the lead for the first time, although other surveys indicate the No campaign is still just ahead. It's a very highly charged issue and lots of people very strongly about it, so it's important that we're not seen here to be taking any sides, we remain impartial. Also helps that there are literally no Scottish people appearing on the show this week. That is not a coincidence. No Scottish people publicly want to give this opinion on this. No, I'm not available that week.
Is it just me, or every time you hear YouGov, you want to go, yes, Squire?
I know the Scottish people don't like it when people who aren't Scottish discuss it, though, because there is that sort of, well, it's nothing to do with you. But it does affect all of us. You know, whether if Scotland go independent, that'll affect everybody, particularly, you know, every country on the planet will now have to buy an embassy in Scotland. And, you know, Greece can't afford a house in Edinburgh.
Certainly not during the festival time.
Oh, no.
Ireland, Greece and Portugal, we'll have to get together and, like, share a flat in Falkland.
It will affect everybody, though, won't it? You know, if Scotland go independent, the chance of a united Ireland is that much greater. Good chance that Wales will then leave, Yorkshire will leave, Cornwall will leave. It'll be the more united queendom of Lesser Britain and no Ireland. That is what it will be.
I think we should just do a thing where, like a kind of one out, one in policy. So when they go, we'll, like, get Mexico. And then, if England want to go, in the end, we can have a whole new lineup, like, you know, the Sugar Babes.
You're giving it going to be Mexico, Syria, and Mucha Buena. Could be the United Kingdom. Yeah.
Mexico is edging its way in. I've noticed a lot more burrito availability.
Yeah. The burrito is very much the beachhead of the Mexico becoming part of the United Kingdom. Yeah. It's unusual, some of the effects of it. If it's a yes vote, the average rainfall in Britain will go down.
Yeah.
The average life expectancy in Britain will go up. And the Wimbledon clock will have to be reset at 78 years. And also saying things like, "You'll have had your tea then," will now be racist.
Because they weren't to begin with.
No, it wasn't anyway. It was just like interregional joshing, where now it's across international borders. That's an act of war.
Well, the rhetoric of the No campaign has been very negative.
Yes.
Funny enough, for a No campaign.
Yeah.
But it has been, in a way, like, if you think of it as being a breakup, you know, rather than being like, again, you know, I don't think this is working out and I want to leave you, rather than responding with like, but come on, we're such a great team, the great times we've had together, rather than being like that, the response has been like, you're going to leave? You'd be nothing without me.
Personally, I'm just impressed at the speed with which the No campaign managed to get Kate pregnant. Quite incredible.
Isn't part of the problem, though, is that, you know, the Scots, the English, Welsh and Irish, they've all got very strong identities, whereas when anybody thinks of a British identity, they tend to think of a sort of watered-down English stereotype, more of a sort of Hugh Grant sort of figure. Whereas, of course, that's not the accurate English stereotype, is it? Much more accurate, fat tracksuit and chips getting sucked off in Magaluf, right? But if you think of that, that could easily be Scottish, Welsh or Irish. That is the vision that we should be showing people.
You're right.
The answer is staring you straight in the face, and it is fried chicken. And I know this because I was about 10 years old during the French-Canadian referendum in Canada, and they were really upset. You know, they felt their French culture wasn't being respected in Canada. Now, French-Canadians don't realize they're not considered French anywhere else in the world. But they wanted signage to be all in French, and KFC is KFC in France. But in Quebec, they wanted it PFK, Poulet Frites Kentucky. And they banged on about that for ages. And as far as I remember, I was 10 years old, we gave it to them and they relaxed.
That's great. So you would suggest driving vans up to Scotland and just going, "Hey, nous avons des poulets, les poulets frites, yeah."
You can change the name so it'll be Muck KFC,
Muck KFC?
and Muck McDonald's.
Why don't we just call it Kilmarnock fried chicken?
Is anyone else worried about the future of the Great British Bake Off?
It's surprising that it hasn't been more of an issue, to be honest.
They're going to rename
There's
it.
3 weeks left. What if they go? That invalidates the result of this series. Bread Week next week.
What, they're doing it just before Bread Week? These people are animals.
I think Britain carries on, though, doesn't it?
Well, does Britain? Yeah.
The United Kingdom just becomes a slightly different thing. But Britain still exists, doesn't it?
Great Britain goes, yeah, it does, yeah.
Great Britain goes, but Britain remains.
Could we scale it down and just become Good Britain?
Yeah. Good deal.
Instead of UK, OK.
Yeah.
Because you've still got Wales. Poor Wales. We won't be the United Kingdom anymore. Wales is, I'm literally right here.
The No campaign have tried to rebrand the union to make it more sexy, haven't they? So what they've tried to learn from the fact that Brad and Angelina became known as Brangelina, they've tried to take England and Scotland and put them together and call them England.
But this is independence. I'm sorry, I haven't really gotten involved in this at all, right? As an Irish person, you kind of feel, no, this is for you to worry about, like, whatever. Because the issues in Ireland, when we were looking for independence, were distinctly different. And it was like, at no point during Michael Collins' negotiations of the treaty in 1919 would it have changed if somebody leaned in and go, but what currency will we use? Oh, you're right, sorry, we hadn't thought this through, actually. Yeah, sorry. But equally, it is kind of weird, because you're going, not a shot fired. This is independence without, like, anyone being killed. You know, look, any country who's gained independence, whatever. This is the most peaceful. We would have loved if independence was going, yeah, I got work, and then I'm going to do coffee, then I'm going to get independence, then I'm going to do Pilates.
Apparently their secret weapon is they've offered to reduce 5 a day to 3 a day.
The English are worried about losing the oil, but I was thinking, why don't we just, you know, boost up the fracking on the Scottish border, right, to make make, you know, good our energy needs, and then if it all goes tits up, we'll have a physical divide as well as a constitutional divide.
You're essentially you want to blow a hole between...
We could then, like, all sit on the side and push it off with our legs.
How deep is the hole that you're hoping that you would push and it would just
I'll be
float
absolutely
off?
honest with you, I haven't thought through all the implications.
I would say that whatever about the politics, the geology of your suggestion is also relatively weak.
And then we'll drag Mexico into place.
At the end of that round, the points go to Ed, Hugh and Gary. Now we play a round called Jock the Week. This game involves Josh and Gary, so if you could make your way to the performance area, please. This round is a stand-up challenge. I launched a wheel of news, and wherever it chooses to stop, one of our performers must step forward and talk about the subject. OK, here we go. Let's spin the wheel. The first subject is weather. Who wants to spin that? Josh.
My parents live in Devon, where they had these storms earlier this year. I got a very strange text off my mum just before the storms. Just said, Josh, just so you know, the storms are on their way, so I've put the wheelie bin in the shed. Not sure what I'm meant to do with this information. I wasn't going, oh, thank God for that, I've been worrying. That's not what you do before a storm. Go, should we get the kids inside? No, 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 get the wheelie bin in the shed, mate. Take another month to order one of them from the council. I'm watching the news going, terrible storms hit Britain, 14 wheelie bins are missing. I mean, I couldn't care less. I live 250 miles away. How strong are these storms that I need to watch out for the bin? The people I feel sorry for during the storms are the on-the-spot reporters. They are people that know their bosses do not value them at all, They are people who've got to work and the boss has gone, have you heard there's a terrible storm on the way? Do you think I should go home? Better than that, mate. I'm sending you down to the edge of the sea. Where you're going to interview a man whose umbrella is inside out. People I don't like are the people that complain during the storms. People complain their flights were cancelled. I wouldn't complain if my flight was cancelled during the storms. I'd complain if I got to the airport and my flight was the only one that wasn't cancelled. If you got to the airport and they went, EasyJet, flight E4597 is going to have a go for it.
Well done, Josh. OK, that leaves us with Gary. Let's see what you've been left with. Spin the wheel. And the subject is transport. Where you go, Gary.
I had a nightmare on the journey over here, and luckily that woke me up just before I ran over a small child. The other day I lost control at a roundabout, and then I went absolutely bonkers on the swings. I stopped in a lay-by, there was a sign saying no dumping. That was all right, I was just having a wee. I joined a breakdown service for Scousers. It's called the AA. Calm down, calm down. If they can't fix your car in an hour, they'll nick you a new one. The Paralympics taught us all that sometimes we should stop and put ourselves in the place of people with disabilities, and I have to say, those parking spaces are brilliant. In the car on the way over here, I kept hearing this annoying, whiny noise. So I pulled over, my girlfriend got out to have a look at the engine, and I drove off. The other night, I saw a couple weaving all over the street. I said, honestly, get a loom. Sorry. I accidentally filled the Escort with diesel. She died.
Well done. OK, points for both of you there. Come on back, come on back. OK, our next round is called Picture of the Week. I show the panel a topical image and ask them to tell me what's happening. So, what's going on here?
Cameron's saying to the Welsh people, he's going, look at the kind of guests I bring to countries that don't ask for independence.
Is it the weirdest ever edition of Snog, Marry, Avoid?
I think he might have stopped me saying, in this relationship, he's me and I'm Nick Clegg.
Is he so posh, Cameron, that he's not playing air guitar, but he's playing air lute?
Is Cameron going? So then the black guy says to the waiter, he's standing right there, isn't he? That would be a diplomatic incident, wouldn't it?
Is he saying, I'll be home late tonight, this one's dragging me out for a pint?
Is this proof that leaders are shape-shifting lizards? That's Cameron, Obama and Angela Merkel.
He's going, I've been telling him how you're all going to help me catch the known terrorist Abu Ghraib.
Is he saying, we used to have one of these fellas at the Bullington Club. They used to bring us drinks and play some jazz piano.
No, go with the actual answer.
It is a NATO summit which is being held in Newport.
Yes, indeed. Well done. Thank you very much, Hugh. Yes. This is a picture of US President Barack Obama and Prime Minister David Cameron during the recent NATO summit held at the Celtic Manor Golf Club and Hotel in Newport, South Wales. The summit marks the first time that a serving American president has visited Wales, and talks were dominated by Afghanistan, the situation in Iraq and the conflict between Russia and Ukraine.
I love the idea that lots of world leaders, their first thing they see of Wales is Newport. It is basically, isn't it? If you go there, strip club takeaway, strip club takeaway. If you're a lap dancing chef, you get a lot of work in Newport.
Did they mean to meet in New York, but just have an autocorrect nightmare?
What security measures were implemented for the summit?
Oh, there was a ring of steel.
That was the term used for it.
Which
What was that?
A fence.
Yes, it was fence, yes.
Big fence. What they did, they put a fence around... They put it around some of Cardiff as well, around the castle. They should have just... It's a castle.
On reflection, you know, you're right, there is a rather large wall as part of the castle.
But they had, like, SWAT teams, and to 2 a.m. on a Friday night in Cardiff, I want to see the hen party versus SWAT team kick off.
Yeah. What did Barack Obama do immediately after the summit?
He did a rather extraordinary thing, which was he's got his own helicopter called Marine One.
Yeah.
And Marine One was flying him, I think, to London, and he made it stop on the way because he wanted to see Stonehenge.
He said it was the highlight of his tour. That is Newport for you, ladies and gentlemen.
Barack's no stranger to wonders. I mean, he himself is an unarmed black man in America who's never been shot by the police.
Do you know what I did like about the whole thing, though?
What did you like about the whole
Some of
thing?
the entertainment that they had.
What did they have as entertainment?
One of the things they were entertained by, Prince Charles's official harp player. Huh?
That's badass.
Because you think about it, like I'm not a big royalist, but when you got somebody like Obama rolling into town, there's not many other world leaders can sort of outdo him, you know. You've got to go
this guy-
royal on his ass, you
But
know.
this guy-
Nobody else has got Air Force One or Marine One or anything like that, but you can still go, have you got your own official harpist?
That's pretty
Don't,
sweet. Can you have your own dream sequences? Oh.
He's the Prince of Wales. Why doesn't he just have whale music? Surely that's more his thing. Is he not that kind of Wales?
No, he's not the Prince of all Wales. It's not like Beastmaster. I call forth the whales.
Do you know what?
With them and my official harvest.
But even, I don't believe I have misunderstood that for 40 years.
Even this photo, I like to think he's just said, what, Congress won't let you have your own harpist? Baby, play him something.
We had a harp in our house.
Only the Prince of Wales could afford...
We had a harp in our house.
How Irish are you?
I'm unbelievably Irish. I am the most Irish person of all. Come dance with me in Ireland. We had a harp in the house, yeah.
Were the poor children of your town allowed to come and play the harp?
No,
they didn't have their own.
They would dance as I played. They would dance as I played.
I've got an image of you now as the Pied Piper of Dublin.
Very much so.
leading the kids away.
Pair of green culottes.
There will come a court case when they will replay this as evidence.
Yes. I come from a very different world.
Did he have anything? Did you have clothes that you could put on when you were playing the harp?
No, I played it naked. You straddle it. You straddle the harp naked, a leg on either side, right? But you hold your genitals close into the round bit so they're not there, and then you.
And if you're drunk, you just bang it with your lad. Bing, bing, bong. Bing, bing, bong.
I challenge you all. None of you who can play the harp with your penis like I can. None of you. Is there a man here who can play the harp with his penis?
Did you just call it your lad?
Your lad. That's what you call it.
No, it's not.
It is, isn't it? We're in harp playing country. That's what you call it, right?
So you're playing a harp with an organ.
Do you know what? Honestly, psychologically, this is doing me the world of good, because my dad was a bishop, so I used to spend quite a lot of my childhood dressing up as a bishop, and I thought I was weird.
Have you still got a harp?
I don't have a harp. There was a harp in the house when I grew up, and it's still there. But
So now you have to go into, like, music shops to do it and stuff.
I might buy it. I might buy it. Someday.
Sir.
Walking in and playing Stairway to Heaven with your lad.
Sir, could you please at least wear a condom? Other people have been trying that hard.
You don't want to get harpies.
Yeah. The neat end of that.
Well, that's the NATO summit covered.
This show, man, it makes some points. It makes some points satirically, you know.
What's wrong, Britain? Too much truth for you?
Yeah, wake up, sheeple. Lifting the wool from your eyes. And with our Josh, Catherine and Andy. Now we come to scenes we'd like to see. So if everyone can make their way over to the performance area, I'll read out this week's topics, then we'll see what our panelists can come up with. OK, here we go. The first subject is unlikely small ads.
For sale, one harp. Really, really used.
For sale, one hang glider. Don't call before 2, as we're attending a funeral.
For sale, engagement ring, never used, would suit Heartless Bitch.
Do you need a dog walker? You lazy bastard.
Comedian seeks new harp for no strings attached sex.
After leaving an abusive relationship, I'm looking for a fresh start. Contact Scotland.
For sale, freezer. Not working properly. Would make ideal fridge.
Flexible nanny required. My wife only does a missionary position.
For sale, Mitsuki 400 AK X3S with extended cab and vortex box with 2 brushes. Would suit somebody who knows what the fuck it is.
Retired celebrity looky-likey seeks alternative employment. Also, for sale, wobble board, didgeridoo and paintbrushes.
Do you enjoy moonlit walks in the park? Then you might have witnessed a murder last Thursday.
Internet troll seeks stupid, fat whore, lesbian bitch for stimulating conversation and walks on the beach.
For sale, book of logic puzzles. Would suit somebody who wants a book of logic puzzles.
Correction. Last week's notice was mistakenly placed in the Men Seeking Men column, but actually I am genuinely seeking someone to demolish my back entrance.
OK, the next topic is unlikely lines from a superhero movie.
Come quick, Batman! Catwoman has just regurgitated Robin at the kitchen door again!
He stopped us again. Damn you, lollipop man.
Hey, Storm! I got something needs blowing.
The Dark Knight rises, has a quick tug, goes flaccid again.
Spider-Man is dead. And so is Flyman. Swallowed by There Was an Old Lady Woman.
How is my date with Spider-Man? Well, you know how the average person swallows 7 spiders in their sleep? What if it's like 1 million more than that?
Oh, my God, there's a coach full of children about to fall off a bridge on the M40. Still, not to worry, I can take the M1 instead.
A gas leak at the orphanage. Sounds like a job for me. The Human Torch.
You are the superhero every man wants to see. Girl on girl.
Help! We need to film these scenes quickly! This must be a job for cameraman!
Of all the mutants, Magneto was the hardest to deal with, as he was bipolar.
I am Patient Man. I work out every day, eat a high-fiber diet, and simply outlive my enemies.
Faster than a speeding bullet, stronger than an ox, and that's why we'd like you to piss in this cup.
They're getting away! What do we do, Patient Man? We wait.
Spider-Man, Spider-Man, does whatever a spider can. Help! I'm stuck in a bath!
I wonder what he's thinking. I wonder if he likes me. I wonder if I'm fat. Wonder Woman.
Is that your advice, Thor? Normally, I just cook from frozen.
The gates to the netherworld are opening! Thor! Hit them with your fucking hammer.
At the end of that round, the points go to Ed, Hugh and Gary. And that's the end of the show. This week's winners are Ed Byrne, Hugh Dennis and Gary Delaney. Commiserations to Andy Parsons, Catherine Ryan and Josh Widdicombe. Thank you for watching. I'm Gary Breen. Good night. and welcome to Mock the Week. I'm Dara O'Brien. Joining me this week are Andy Parsons, Sarah Pascoe and Josh Widdicombe, Ed Byrne, Hugh Dennis and James Acaster. We start with a round called Picture of the Week. I show the panel a topical image and ask them to tell me what's happening. So, what's going on here?
Is it a PR stunt by the Conservatives that in order to look more human, they all have to be followed around by a Dalek at all times?
Is it actually just the worst pairing ever on Strictly Come Dancing?
Is this not David Cameron meeting the only 70s television star not being investigated by Operation
It's a Dalek saying, "Don't worry, David. I know what it's like to have doctors hate you as well."
I actually think the Dalek could be worried that the TARDIS is broken because he's asked for 2014 and he's got out and he's like, Friends is on TV, there's a war in Iraq. Someone just left tape that. A famous sportsman got off for killing his partner. I'm back in the 90s.
Is it just Doctor Who regenerates as twat?
I like the idea that David Cameron has walked by and somebody just goes to the Dalek, "You had one job."
Is the Dalek simply going,
Ex-public school! It's weird, isn't it? Because it looks like he hasn't even noticed the Dalek.
He's only blanking it because they slept together once.
Do you not remember me? You held me. You held me. You said you could get me working PR. No, does anyone know why Cameron is in the news?
This is the Conservative Party conference, which is being held in Birmingham.
Absolutely, thank you very much.
Yeah.
Well done, Hugh. Yes, it's a picture of David Cameron, who faced a difficult start to this year's Conservative Party conference in Birmingham this week. Why? What overshadowed the conference?
Well, Mark Reckless defected over to UKIP.
Indeed,
and in some
did.
ways, it's quite a surprise, isn't it, that UKIP accepted a defection from another party, because they don't really like outsiders coming in taking their jobs.
I like Mark... Well, I don't like Mark Reckless, but I like his name.
Yeah.
He could be like an 80s cop. Like, I'd like to see a drama where Reckless is thrown off the case. That's what I'd like to see.
And the other guy who's affected is called Carswell. So that's quite a good team, isn't it?
Reckless and Carswell.
Reckless
You're
and
off the case,
Carswell.
Reckless. We're going to bring in Brian Irresponsible. Let's see.
Yeah, but prior to this, the thing that he was most famous for, Mark Reckless, wasn't it, was that he got too drunk in the House of Commons and was incapable of voting. He couldn't actually get out of the bar door, if you remember. He was trying to open the bar door to go and vote, and he kept on opening it on his own foot without realising that it was his own foot in the way. And you're guessing he's probably been trying to leave the Conservative Party for years.
They're very angry at him. A lot of people calling him Judas. He hates that, 'cause that's an immigrant's name.
The problem for all parties, though, when people defect, is you can defect whenever you want, right, to cause the maximum damage. But presumably you could get around that if you just had, like, you know, defection window, couldn't you? Like, you could have it like the transfer window, and then you could have, like, people defecting, and you could have deadline day,
that'd
and
be
it could
exciting.
all be covered by Sky News. So you get Tories going to UKIP, a couple of Lib Dems going to Labour, Labour bloke joined Stoke City by mistake.
Peter O'Dowingy drives to the UKIP training ground and just hangs around, wanting to force their hand into taking him. No. Yeah, what would be the UKIP medical?
Well, there's one medical. Are you white? That's the medical, isn't it?
Well, we've done the skin test, and he seems to be passing it very well. Do you fancy a curry? No. Excellent. It's probably the best candle we've ever had.
But it is the fact as well that he did leave on conference day, which is like dumping someone on their birthday. Like, that's why he's so upset. Like, you've gone, it's all insecure, it's going to get some highlights. Is it because they've got a tighter immigration policy than me?
that wasn't all that happened. Obviously, what other setbacks did the Conservatives suffer just for the conference?
We've been looking forward to this. This is the man the Conservative MP who exposed himself over social media whilst wearing his blue and red paisley pyjamas.
Yes.
That's right.
Brooks and Newmark.
Oh, it's quite the romantic novelist name, isn't it? I mean, Mark Reckless is a crazy cop on the edge, but Brooks Newmark is your first pet and the road you grew up on. That's a real name, but...
Do you think he looks like if you pumped up Ed Miliband?
Yeah, he does, yeah.
and then just slowly let the air out of him?
I find myself in the odd... I don't normally feel this way, but I feel sorry for him. I think it's... He got stung by a journalist pretending to be a girl.
Yeah.
Sent him lewd photographs of another girl.
I know. I have sympathy for him as well. But the penis is not an attractive... At the no seduction is worth by going, well, wait till you see this. This is a very beautiful thing. No, women... I know not generalisation for women, but they don't find men's bits, I think, as just visually, well, that is a particularly lovely.
Is that why there's the little opening at the front of the pyjamas?
It's specifically designed for that, yeah.
Oh, yeah,
pyjamas,
just
so
checking.
in order for you to get your junk out, quick photo, pop it back in again.
In the olden days, you just pop it out of your pyjamas, quickly draw a charcoal sketch, fold it up, give it to a carrier pigeon, they'd take it to a local madam.
Or brass rubbing, but you've got to be careful because it gets bigger as you go on.
There is a generational element to this, I've got though, that it is very much the lingua franca for young people and their... Josh, please. I would have put in, you're a young man. Is this common now, just as a, hello, you look quite nice. Click, click, here you go. I'm just, it's a standard form of address, I'm told.
I wasn't expecting to be put on the spot, Dara, but I can say that one of you has received a photo of me already this evening. And when you all go back to your dressing rooms, my cock is on your phone, Dara.
Well, that is... I mean, I thought it'd be preloaded anyway, like the U2 album. But that would be very exciting.
I tell you what, and people would be complaining about the space it was taking up on their phones.
I haven't even got a 32 gig for this, baby. Can we move on to the actual meeting itself, the Conservative Party conference? How has that gone? How have the Conservatives, in the light of all these scandals, won back the hearts and minds of the British public?
Cameron wants to bring back the idea that you'll have your own doctor again. They want to extend GP hours and also have you don't just see annual GP, you'll have your own GP, which I like the idea of, because my surgery, you don't know which one you're going to see. And sometimes when you arrive, we've got one of those electronic arrive for your appointment things, rather than talk to a receptionist. They feel there's a more efficient way of spreading disease if you all have to touch a screen. and sometimes it'll say you're going to see this doctor or that doctor, but sometimes it doesn't know. And one time I've gone in and it's actually gone, you are seeing Dr. Unknown. My old nemesis. We meet again, Dr. Unknown.
People are worried about kind of immigration and employment. People are defecting to UKIP. And so to counter that, there's amazing policy, which is that if a parent or something dies and he leaves a pension, they're going to reduce the tax that you have to pay after death. You kind of think, what is that exciting in any sense?
Yes.
No.
To rich people, that is enormously exciting.
I don't understand it. What about zombies?
OK. Zombies is a legal grey area.
Do they have to pay it, or do they get a rebate?
They don't get a rebate, but they only have to pay a lower rate of tax on when they draw down the lump sum that they had previously invested but not taken. Presuming they became a zombie after 75. Before 75, of course, they get the same series of monthly payments that I have leading up to the joint.
I had a really good analogy for this, because I think it's really, really terrifying, isn't it? These voiceless people seem to be having, and very vulnerable people having their benefits cut. And the trouble with Tories is they tell you that they kind of sell this idea that it's these people's fault. And so this is my analogy. So I don't know if you know this, but girls, when they're in the toilets, some girls hover because they think that public toilets are disgusting.
What, off the floor?
No. Yeah. It's amazing. We can do that.
You are amazing!
But we only do it in secret or you'll love us too much. So the girls hover above the toilet seats and then they wee, and then that means that what they do is they kind of spray a fine mist all over the toilet seat, which means that if you're a trusting person who doesn't think that toilets are disgusting, you just sit down and then you're covered with somebody else's urine and you have to take it off. And actually the point is, if no one ever hovered, everyone could sit on toilets. It would be fine for everyone. It's just like the Tories. You see?
It's a hell of an analogy. Yeah. That is... I think we can all get behind that as a political slogan if nobody ever hovered.
I don't know whether I like girls more or less after that.
I'm just glad that I'm not the only one who hovers.
At the end of that round, the points go to Josh, Sarah and Andy. Now we play a round called You Keep Me All Night, Baby. This involves Josh and James. If you could make your way to the performance area, please. This round is a stand-up challenge. I launch the wheel of news, and whoever chooses to stop, one of our performers must step forward and talk about that subject. OK, here we go. Let's spin the wheel. The first subject is adventure. Who wants to come in that? James.
I'm not a very adventurous person. I've only ever used one side of a cheese grater. Got no idea what the other three sides even do. I'm not the only one either, because everyone knows what side I'm talking about, right? Big holes. Got no time for small holes and tiny holes. And if you've ever seen small... It's the roughest side of anything I've ever seen in my life, small holes. There's rows of tiny little spikes, so the time I'm going to use that side is in self-defence. Then you've got to wash it. I don't know how you negotiate that. How you wash something that is rougher than your own scouring pad. Interestingly, the only thing rough enough to wash a cheese grater is a second cheese grater. I refuse to believe that anyone has ever used the side with the three curvy slits in it. Don't need them. Get rid of them, replace with something I'd actually use in my day-to-day cheese needs. Like, for me, it'd be a device that in one smooth downward motion completely unwraps a baby bell. Someone told me the other day the three curvy slits they use for slicing cheese. Apparently. It's the word on the street. Now, if I'm going to slice cheese, my first port of call is seldom the grater. Call me old-fashioned, I'm a knife man. You might think I'm a fuddy-duddy, but I like it. It's unpredictable. You always start out. You're thinking, well, this cheese cutting's going excellently. Oh, yeah. It just passed the halfway mark and the cheese takes over. Can't reverse it. It's made its mind up now. And yeah, now you've got to slice the cheese that's half the size you wanted in the first place. But at least you got some stories.
Thank you, James, for comprehensively dealing with the topic of adventure there. What, mate? That leaves us with Josh. Let's see what you've been left with. Let's spin the wheel. And it's crime. Away you go.
So, I had my cheese grater stolen. I got burgled, not for the cheese grater. When you get burgled, everyone says the same thing to you. Everyone says, oh, tell you what the worst thing about being burgled is? It's knowing that a stranger's been through your things. And you go, no. It's not the worst thing about being burgled, is knowing a stranger has my things. If they had just been browsing, I wouldn't have given a shit. Offer me two options. One, come home, my laptop is gone. Or two, come home, find a stranger in my room going, well, I like this T-shirt, but have you got it in a large? I phoned my dad and said I've been burgled. He said, we know why you've been burgled and we haven't. It's because we're in the neighbourhood watch. I said, no, it isn't. It's because you live in Devon. A small village in the middle of nothing, but mile upon mile of moorland. I mean, no one's going to burgle you, because whatever they took, it wouldn't cover their petrol money. From what I can tell, the only proactive thing the Neighbourhood Watch does is once a month they have a meeting. All that does, it tells burglars for one night out of every 30. All houses are empty and unwatched. There's this paranoia about crime back in Devon, where I'm from. Went back recently, went into the local co-op, and it's a tiny co-op in a tiny village. But I went up to the desk, and there was a sign that said, did you know we now do legal advice? And obviously my first reaction was, no. And to be honest, I was pleasantly surprised you did Sugar Puff, so... Why is the co-op now doing legal advice? Just too many people coming in going, I'll have 10 silk cut, a Viennetta, and I've killed a man.
Well done, very good. Well done, both you. Point in that go to JJ Carter. Carter down. Our next round is called This Is the Answer, What is the Question? On the board are 6 categories. James, which category would you like?
I would like sport, please, Dara.
OK, sport it is. The answer is 8 out of 10. What is the question?
How many buzzcocks have got news for you?
Is it how many Tory MPs are currently trying to delete their WhatsApp photo messages as we speak?
It's a sport question. Is it how many of the hairs on Wayne Rooney's head started on his arse?
Is it, if you asked Kanye West to name 10 people he admires, how many people would be Kanye West?
Is it how many Strictly celebrities are having affairs with their dance partners?
What are my rough chances of happiness every time I dip into a bag of Revels?
Coffee, is it? Coffee
I don't like the coffee. I'm not fond of the orange.
Do you not like the orange?
Don't like the coffee at all, and I'm not fond of the orange.
Yeah.
Do not push me on this. I swear to God, I will take your fucking eye out. Sorry.
Ed! I've said this before. Let it go in the Revels.
All right.
Just buy a bag of minstrels, Ed. I've said it to you constantly.
How many of the answers in this round won't be broadcast?
Yeah. Now, Ed, does anyone want to try to answer the question?
So I think this is actually how many times Europe have beaten America in the Ryder Cup.
Very good. Thank you very much, Sarah. That's fantastic, yeah.
We need a punchline.
Yes, the question I was looking for was about the Ryder Cup. It's how many of the Ryder Cup tournaments have the European team now won over the last 2 decades? This is the 40th Ryder Cup, which saw the European team win 16.5 to 11.5 against the United States at Gleneagles this weekend, continuing their domination since the mid-90s. Have you been gripped? I would turn to you, but you probably were. Ed, have you been gripped? Yeah, I'm saying guessing it's a no.
Oh, the golf. It's like football, but slower.
Seeing all of these Europeans getting on so well together, loving being part of a team together, UKIP must hate the Ryder Cup, mustn't they?
What I thought was so odd about this, so the Ryder Cup used to be between Britain and America.
Yeah.
And then we kept losing all the time.
Yep.
So then we made it Britain and Ireland against America. And then we kept losing all the time. So now we've made it the whole of Europe against America. And now we win all the time, which means they're going to add on another country, like Russia. And then we're going to have to add on another country, like... No, Spain's in Europe, Sarah.
Yeah.
They're going to add on another country. So eventually, everyone in the world will be playing in this competition apart from women.
What was Rory McIlroy wearing to help him deal with the cold?
It was like oven gloves.
Oh, was it for the cold?
Yeah, what did you think? Why did you think he was wearing... He was using a puppet show about 2 sharks.
He'd won the Ryder Cup and he'd also got through to the semi-finals of the Great British Bake Off. So...
It would have been a lot better if he'd also worn one of those aprons with, like, a naked woman's body on it, wouldn't it?
He's got the good oven gloves, which like 2 separate ones, and not the, you know, the ones that are one oven glove for each hand, and then that filthy hammock. It's the most bacteria-ridden bit of fabric in your entire house. What are you using it for? Handling food. Nice one.
In other news, who has David Cameron had to apologise to in the last week?
Queen.
The Queen.
Yeah,
Yes.
because he told, I think it was the ex-mayor of New York, wasn't it? And it was overheard by a journalist. He said that when the Queen heard the Scottish referendum result, she purred. Which apparently she does.
purred.
Yeah. What he didn't say is that when she doesn't like something, she goes, bah!
Did she purr, or is that not just the sound that a phone makes when you hang up on somebody?
But I do like the idea of the Queen purring. I think that would make a fantastic Christmas message, wouldn't it?
Oh, yeah, the
She's sat there on the little armchair. She's got a little saucer of milk, a little scratching post on the other side. Just going, oh.
Would the Duke of Edinburgh be scratching her behind the neck? Is that what happened? Oh, sorry, I touched you.
Hello, you two. Hello.
Yeah, everyone saw that, right?
What's under the desk? Get up and show us what's under the desk, George.
Sarah, quickly, hover. Hover out of here right now.
I don't know.
I tell you what, that is the furthest I've ever been with a girl.
I mean, I get on one level, yes, she's like a cat. We feed her, and she treats us with a fair amount of contempt.
I'm disappointed that in the most candid revelation of what she's like on the phone, it was just a bit of a purr. That he didn't say, and I told her, it's OK, Scotland have decided to stay, and she said, oh, get in, you fucking beauty.
At the end of that round, the points go to Ed, Hugh and James. Now we come to scenes we'd like to see, so if everyone can make their way over to the performance area, I'll read out this week's topics, and then we'll see what our panelists can come up with. OK, here we go. The first subject is unlikely things for a sports commentator to say.
And Hamilton takes the checkered flag. Give back the checkered flag!
And you join us tonight for the boxing. I really hope a fight doesn't kick off like last time. Guys, can't we just talk about...
Welcome to Under-16s badminton, where the players are still laughing at the word shuttlecock.
Oh, and the club has connected beautifully there. But according to World Boxing Federation rules, that's an instant disqualification.
And Switzerland takes the gold and hangs on to it even after the Second World War is after.
He turns, he shoots, and that is a horrible end to the Grand National.
Say what you like about dressage. I couldn't give a shit.
And Slippery Bastard is in first with all arms and legs, second belly flop boy coming on the inside, and yes, I have forgotten the swimmers' names and have resorted to funny nicknames.
And you join me here in Helsinki for the final of the curling. And you know what that means? My career is going shit.
And the referee checks his watch and realises it was given by the Brazilian FA. He's going to have to return it.
Oh, so will it be Oxford? Will it be Cambridge? Who will provide most of the new cabinet?
And there's a streaker on the pitch. 2 words, hubba, hubba.
And as they take the last bend, that is the end of the Ben Stealing Championships.
And it's the relay, and he's made a grab for the baton. Oh, that's not the baton. But he's got a smile on his face anyway.
And Rosberg makes a mistake. He runs wide into turn 2. Why is he running? Get in the car, you twat!
OK, the next topic is lines you wouldn't hear in a TV detective show.
Next up on Channel 5, a woman has a painful wrist in RSI Miami.
Of course I dusted for Prince. I'm his cleaner, and he prefers to be known as the artist formerly known as Prince.
How did I recognise him from just his genitalia? Well, it was the red and blue paisley pyjamas round the outside.
For dental tinkelefol, dental plinken planken, lekotola, lekontivol, elvol, kaval, utebel, kontal. Do you not speak Danish?
This week, Rosemary and Thyme are joined by two Indian detectives. Turmeric and chilli.
You're going to arrest me for making lewd and childish innuendos? I hope you don't expect me to come quietly.
This week, there's panic in Midsummer as they meet their first black man.
Ah, you said it was a whodunit. Yeah, we arrested Hugh Dennis.
I think I have solved it, Watson. No shit, Sherlock.
There has been a heinous crime committed on the Orient Express. Somebody has done a shit while the train was still in a station.
Leave me alone, Watson. I'm going to go back into my mind palace and have the wank of a lifetime.
Yeah. The murderer has cut out the victim's tongue. Let's get that back to the lab. I've got some envelopes need licking.
Now, Constable, the fact that you've had to redo the chalk outline 17 times should surely be an indication that the victim is still alive.
I shoot my gun like I shoot my load into my hand.
You're under arrest. You're not obliged to say anything, but anything you do say means you'll be an actor rather than an extra and you get paid a bit more.
So you say that at the time of the murder, you were hosting Daybreak on ITV. So there's no witnesses to corroborate.
Hello, we're the fashion police. Let's see the body. Oh, blue with green. He deserves to die.
And Portugal, Ed, Hugh and James. And that's the end of the show. This week's winners are Andy Parsons, Sarah Pascoe and Josh Widdicombe. Commiserations to Ed Byrne, Hugh Dennis and James Acaster. Thank you for watching. I'm Dara Breen. Good night. and welcome to Mock the Week. I'm Dara Breen, and joining me this week are Andy Parsons, Holly Walsh and Ramesh Ranganathan, Rob Beckett, Hugh Dennis and Milton Jones. We start with a round called If This Is the Answer, What Is the Question? On the board are 6 categories. Holly, which category would you like?
Can we have home news?
OK, home news it is. The answer is no. What?
What is that going to be about,
I have no
Dara?
idea what story this could possibly refer to. What is the question, Holly?
Is it UKIP's immigration policy?
Is it do Man United have a defence?
Is it how should you not answer the question, did you pack these bags yourself?
Is it what is the least uttered word in a porn film?
Is it what did his friends call Nostradamus?
Is it what type of oil painting is John Prescott?
Is it the answer to the question, do you want to be in my gang, my gang, my gang?
Is it what the Scottish people said in the referendum?
It is exactly that. Thank you very much, Andy Parsons. That's right. Of course, the question I was looking for was, how did Scotland vote in last week's independence referendum? The vote, which had a remarkable turnout of nearly 85%, saw the No campaign win with 55.3% of the vote, compared to the Yes campaign's 44.7%. What do you think swung it in the end, then?
I think it's probably that more people voted no than yes.
The level of analysis we're very proud of.
According to Alex Salmond, it was, you know, a lot of people over 55 in Scotland voted no. In fact, both of them voted no.
The good thing about voting for an independent Scotland is once you put your X in a box, you can cut it out and use it as a little flag.
I thought it was quite lucky for Alex Salmond in some ways that he didn't actually win. Because I think if he had won, his grin might have been so big that he might have eaten himself.
There's also swung supposedly by there was a poll, wasn't there? There was one poll which put the yes ahead, and they think that was a rogue poll, didn't they?
It was a YouGov poll that was 51-49. There would be one guy in the YouGov office who's had an awkward meeting where they went, Terry, every poll, even the results, except your poll, Terry. Who did you ask? Who did you ask?
I love the phrase rogue poll because it sounds like an unwanted erection.
Actually sounds like a Daily Mail headline. I read.
Rogue polls. Rogue polls have been ruining this country. Then they ruined Scotland. Unbelievable.
It's so embarrassing for David Cameron, just after this poll came out, then suddenly he's like, we'll give you loads of powers, honestly, and we'll give you cakes, and it's going to be amazing. Like, please stay. We're really going to look after you, I promise. It's going to be incredible. We're going to have a theme park and a roller coaster and whatever you want. Please stay, please.
And now they've decided to stay, and he's going, oh, yeah. I said a lot of things, didn't I?
What I didn't understand about the Scottish election thing was, if the Scottish didn't want to be part of Great Britain, where were they going to live?
The big question which was asked on the night, and it was amazing how quickly it was asked. What was a major question people were asking then on the night?
It wasn't yes or no.
No, it very quickly became, what does this mean for England? Like, within 10 minutes, Scotland was like, oh, hang on, we're still here, you know. Let's go back down to London and ask people what it means for England. Well, this is what I think it means for England. Well, what do you think? I think it means this for England. And Scotland only go, we've not even given you the results yet. We know
the Welsh have been complaining, haven't they? And it's fair enough. It was always going to be, you know, the Scots got a parliament and the Welsh got an assembly. You know, so the Scottish had a proper parliament and the Welsh, they just had a quick head count followed by singing Morning is Broken.
The Welsh are getting stroppy, actually. I was in Cardiff in Waterstones recently. I asked for Pride and Prejudice and the bloke said, I'm proud to be Welsh and I hate the English.
But it will never stop. So you get down to smaller and smaller areas, won't you, wanting power? There'll be referenda in smaller and smaller areas, and then you don't know how to... It's the question in the referendum, I guess. We say in the North East it would have... You couldn't have yes, no. It would have to be aye and no. Essex, it would be all right and bollocks to that. And in Kensington and Chelsea, it would be no and OMG, totes defo yeah.
In other news, what has Prince Charles said is the largest challenge facing the world today?
Is it narrow doorways and you get your ears caught?
It's climate change.
Yes,
Isn't
it's
it?
climate change rather
it's
than the
not
narrow
ears
doorways.
thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
I thought it was ice buckets.
It's not ice buckets. No, our ice buckets are the reason for climate change.
No, but they are one of the biggest challenges in...
They are. They are. Everyone has to do it at some stage.
Charles is worried, apparently, because we've only got another 30 years until climate change might be irreversible. And he's therefore worried that it might ruin his coronation.
This is Charles yesterday on the Royal Yacht, which is not quite as impressive as it used to be.
Is this a summit in New York?
Yes, he's out in New York.
China and India have not turned up to the summit, and they're like the worst ones for climate change, which is ridiculous. It's like Oscar Pistorius not going to an Oscar Pistorius trial, isn't it? And he's got the biggest carbon footprint going. I like a bit of climate change, isn't it? It's like, I was in the garden yesterday. It's September. It's lovely. It's October soon. Sitting in the garden still. No? Do you not have gardens?
That's weather. That's not climate.
Yeah, where does the weather come from? The climate. All I'm saying is, if it goes up a bit, you know, it's not that hot in Lewisham. It's nice to have a couple of extra degrees.
I'm glad you're having a nice day in the garden.
Thank you.
I'm sure there's a polar bear somewhere going, all right, this seems to be getting smaller, but at least Lewisham is having a nice day today.
So, yeah, we've had a rough few years. And I'm not going to bump into him anyway, am I?
I would love that. Ding dong, and you open your door and there's a polar bear and they're going...
Well, to be fair, luckily, because
holding a tiny piece of ice under his arm.
To be fair...
My house!
Because of the narrow doorways, you won't even be able to get in anyway.
The United Nations, they're encouraging people to go vegetarian, aren't they? Because apparently one of the big problems with climate change is all these cows farting. So, yeah, either we've got to eat less meat or we need to give the cows a bit of Pepto-Bismol.
I don't understand that, because, like, if the cows farting is causing the problem, then surely eating them is the solution. I mean...
You think we're eating cows as a way of saving, you know, we've got to eat all the cows before they fart us into a climate change?
The thing, I mean, I'm speaking as a vegan, by the way, but there is a logical disconnect here, because, like, you know, you say that, you know, you don't want to have all these animals that are farting, whatever, but there is this point we have to go. We'd have to just, what do we do? Just release them into the public?
On the unlikely circumstance, the rest of us who aren't vegans suddenly go, do you know what? No. Not going to that. No more meat. We all go, no more beef. There'll be a load of cattle farmers going, what am I supposed to do with this lot then? And you go, well, you just let them go. No. Let them go back into the wild where they belong.
Feed them to the polar bears.
First. How is Paul McCartney trying to help cut emissions?
He's doing a creepy rap.
We can show the creepy rap. But I must warn you, once you've seen the creepy rap, you can't unsee. The creepy rap is one of those things, actually, yeah. He's, I think, for Meat Free Monday that he wanted to do, so he did a recorded video and slipped into some unusual character towards the end. This is Paul McCartney's Meat Free Monday rap.
Please just log in, pledge.meatfreemondays, or one word, .com. Pledge.meatfreemondays.com. 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 You can do it right now, please.
Do you know what? I mean, I don't mind the rapping, but the impression of my dad at the end, which is... I'm not sure about Meat Free Monday, you know, like, because when... I mean, again, speaking as a vegan, but my problem with it is...
Are you a vegan?
Listen, get on board, all right? Jesus. You guys disgust me. You cheese and meat-eating pricks.
Anyway, please, every part of the show, preface every topic we do with, as a vegan.
My point is, Dara, if I may...
The pizza!
Oh, mate, I'll tell you what, pizza, nightmare, right?
Of course, you've missed the main ingredient.
I love pizza, ordered a pizza, right, with no cheese, right? No cheese.
Yeah.
What I didn't realise is not only does cheese add flavour, it also has an adhesive quality. What I got was a box of bread with some vegetables in the corner of the box. So...
OK, at the end of that round, the points go to Ramesh, Holly and Andy.
Now we play a round called English Jokes for English People. This game involves Ramesh and Milton, so if you could make your way to the performance area, please. This round is a stand-up challenge. I launch the wheel of news, and whoever chooses to stop, one of our performers must step forward and talk about that subject. OK, here we go. Let's spin the wheel. The first subject is education. Who wants to go on that? Ramesh.
Well, as a vegan... I wanted to supplement my son's education, so I'm helping him to learn to read. That's one of the things that I'm doing. And helping your child to read is one of the most magical and rewarding things that you can do as a parent, on day one. After that, it's one of the most frustrating, annoying, I'd rather punch myself in the face repeatedly than ever do this again activity that you can ever do. And let me tell you why. They do not care about making sense. Right? They'll just read all the easy words. When they get to one they don't know, instead of trying, they'll just look at the picture and just throw something random into the sentence without any regard for what effect that has on what they're saying. And I'm supposed to not get angry. I'm supposed to not get angry when my son goes, Jack went strawberry? How could that be what it said? How could it be Jack went strawberry? What are you talking about? What would that even look like? How could that be what it said? Tell me. I'll tell you what, you think that's what it said, you go strawberry now. Go on. No, go strawberry. That's what you think it said. Stop crying, go strawberry. Go strawberry. Why don't you do it? Go kiwi then, I don't give a shit. You're not doing it, are you? I'll tell you why not, because it doesn't make any bloody sense. My wife thinks I'm overreacting.
Thank you very much, Robert. OK, that leaves us with Milton. So let's see what you've been at for Milton. Let's spin the wheel. And the topic is family.
My uncle, he was a cruel man. He knew we lived in a bungalow, yet every year for Christmas we always got a slinky. It's a miracle my sister's getting married. I went to the printers to get the invites, and he said, well, what typeface? I went... She seems to like him. My grandfather, during the war, he broke the Enigma code machine. Then he went AWOL. Well, it's not quite true. Then he became an owl. My grandmother, she's been talking about downsizing, and now she's in a little urn. My other grandmother, she was a children's writer. You may have seen her book, Jack Goes Strawberry. I haven't always been popular with my family as a vegan. That doesn't normally work. Recently, my family all clubbed together and got me a voucher for a clinic in Switzerland. Thank you.
Hey, well done. Point down to Mr. Jones. Come on back in.
Our next round is called Picture of the Week. I show the panel a topical image and ask them to tell me what's happening. So what is going on here?
Is it an advert for Match.com? Literally anybody can find love.
It is, every time I look in the mirror, I see a woman.
he's saying, apart from the door frame and this coffee mug, is there super glue anywhere else?
The caption probably says, he wears blue twill non-iron with button-down collar. She wears a look of exasperation.
Yes, that is his wife, Justine Thornton, actually.
Yeah, it's his wife saying, if I get rid of the spider, will you go back in?
Hey, don't joke. Don't joke. It's spider season, all right?
Oh, there's some massive spiders knocking about.
Do you know why there's so many spiders now? Do you know why there's so many
spiders?
Because it's hot, because of climate change. That's just how trending about in Lewisham.
Oh, no!
Yeah, swings and roundabouts for Lewisham now, isn't it? Like a Sydney garden. But look at dum, this huge spider coming down the garden. All 8 legs.
Is he saying, in one hand I have a mug, and the other hand I'm using to do a little reshuffle?
Tragically, he's probably saying, well, I put 7 o'clock on the invite. It's nearly midnight.
All right. Somebody tell me what it actually is.
Is it so it's doing a Labour Party conference?
Yeah, that's good enough.
It is.
Of course it is. You're absolutely right. Thank you very much. Well done.
Thanks,
That's something to do with the
guys.
Labour conference. Of course. Yes, of course. It's a picture of Ed Miliband with his wife Justine Thornton, who were in Manchester this week for the Labour Party conference, giving his big speech on Tuesday afternoon. How is he doing?
His current personal approval ratings are -46. The only place they're lower is within his own family.
-46 sounds like the temperature of North Pole, which apparently is not cold enough.
Yeah, but you're mistaken, because that's not climate change, mate. That's just the weather.
Yeah, exactly. The thing about Miliband is not really what he's saying, it's just how he says it. And he's just, guys. It sounds like he's just a sneeze away from talking properly. It's like, guys. Because you think maybe if he has that sneeze, he might be a really passionate speaker, but like, guys, shh, I swear down here, we're going to cut the deficit, get our country back. Cameron, I'm coming for you, bro, for Labour. The problem is, his speeches are boring, aren't they? Let's be honest, political speeches are boring. Liven it up, stick him on a trampoline. Because I would watch it.
The trampoline ban would only work if the camera was at, like, a height where you had to jump to get into shot.
Yes!
That is a political speech. If you go, I suggest... It's government tablet too.
You're suggesting Cirque du Soleil take over, or...
Potentially.
All I'm saying is more people watch that than the speech.
All sorts of things would be more interesting on a trampoline. Sex would be better on a trampoline.
What, with Ed Miliband?
No, not with Ed Miliband. If you have sex on a trampoline...
Dave got in first.
You have sex on a trampoline and you can become a member of the 10-foot-high, no-foot-high, 10-foot-high, no-foot-high...
He's basically made it fun for the Tories, because they could say anything they want. He's unelectable. So you can do whatever the hell you want, do you know what I mean? Like, we're going to kill everyone. Yeah, but I'd rather that than vote Ed Miliband.
So what changes does Ed Miliband propose to bring in about voting?
Is it the 16-year-olds can vote?
Yes, absolutely, 16-years. And 17-years, because that would be really weird if you just said 16-year-olds too. But then when, what, you're 17? No, you can't. It's because you've gone hormonal again. I mean, you're up, you're down, you're up, you're down. We don't know. You're going to
have a gap year.
Yeah, that'd be great. Gap year for voting.
Yeah, but that's a take one.
Listen, all young people are going to have a gap year of about 40 years before they vote again anyway. What do Labour want public sector employees to have to declare?
Their class.
Their class, yes. Or their class. Is it? Which is it? Oh, no. I'll give myself away, haven't I? Their class.
There's 2 ways I definitely can find out if someone's working class in public sector jobs. One, put bingo pens in the stationery office. If they go, you know they're in. The other one is put on a coach trip. Because my aunties, they'll go to Syria if there's a rest stop and a tour guide. Love a coach trip. Anyway.
Middle class people don't want to self-identify as middle class. They, middle class want to be, because it's more authentic. Where it's, middle class is such a bland state of affairs.
It's not bland, is it? Have you tasted some of their food? What kind of flavours going on in there? Isn't it? It's not bland to be middle class.
Have you mistaken middle class for Indian? The naan's incredible.
We call them nans. you ate... We was in Birmingham the other week doing a gig and you had cream on top of your goulash.
No, listen.
Hey.
Hang on, why are you eating goulash? Goulash is... it's meat in goulash.
I'm not that much of an idiot. It was
Vegetable goulash.
Can I have a beef goulash, but hold the beef? Rob and I had an argument, a discussion about the fact that I thought it had combined so much with the goulash that it rendered the situation untenable. But Rob said, "You could have scooped that out, mate. I don't know what's wrong with you." He's not a vegan. He's eating cream over here. I haven't even heard of it in Lewisham.
Oh, we're such great mates.
It's a natural banter, which is why we put 5 people in between the two of you. OK, at the end of that round, Paul's got a Raj, Holly and Andy. Now we come to scenes we'd like to see. So if everyone can make their way over to the performance area, I'll read out this week's topics and we'll see what our panellists can come up with. OK, here we go. The first subject is unlikely things to hear on a news programme.
As I report from my 6th day here in war-torn Syria, I think the lesson learned is that I should never have called my producer a wanker.
According to statistics, the French economy is now the weakest growing of all the economies in Europe.
Sport now. All Manchester United fans, please look away.
You've reached Al Jazeera News, which means you're only 20 channels away from actually finding porn.
Here, you'll never guess who's dead.
Just time now to see what the papers say.
We will now attempt to talk to the survivors of the cliff fall. You all right, mate?
After the fire in the aromatherapy candle factory, the situation is now calm.
And now over to our foreign correspondent. Do you speak English?
Now it's time for the news near you.
Hello!
There are human remains on the blood-stained streets and the despair in the eyes of everyone you meet. Rob Beckett for BBC News, Magaluf.
There continues to be heavy shelling here. Ramesh Ranganathan at the peanut factory.
Now it's over to our toys and games correspondent, Natasha Kaplunksky.
And eventually the sun will go supernova, the earth will become dark and frozen, and everyone will die. That was the long-range weather forecast.
To my right, in my peripheral vision, Andy Parsons is showing us his penis. More on that as it unfolds.
We go over now to our vegan correspondent. I'm terribly sorry. He appears to have gone strawberry.
And David Cameron has delivered on all his promises to the Scottish people.
Just time for a quick look at tomorrow's papers. So the Times and the Telegraph lead with industrial strife, and in the Sun we can see that Caroline from Dagenham has got a terrific pair of norks.
OK, the next topic is things you wouldn't hear on a medical show.
I'm sorry, I know nothing about the inner workings of the human body. Honestly, hand on my heart, it's...
I'm Dr. Christian, and remember, however embarrassing your condition is, you'll never look as weird as I do.
Health officials have shut down the village fete. Apparently, there was an outbreak of tombola.
I think we've got the balance about right here. The hospital is clean, but the nurses are filthy.
We'll be starting the procedure by numbing your breasts. Num, 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 num. Num, 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 num.
Well, that really is an enormous growth, Mr. Thomas. I think it might be better to leave it and remove you.
Please let me assure you it's perfectly normal and the swelling will go down. It's just that I find you really attractive.
And if you've been affected by any of the issues on embarrassing bodies tonight, think how I feel. I had to touch it.
So, if you'd like to bend over, I'm just going to check your prostate. Maybe slightly uncomfortable. I'm going in now. Look, no hands!
Now, our next guest, believe it or not, is both a poo and a lice inspector. Sorry, police inspector.
Of course I know what I'm doing. Give me the defibrillator. I'm going to defib something.
Yes, I'm afraid it's the big C. Yep. Jeremy Hunt is paying the hospital a visit.
This week on Embarrassing Bodies, FIFA.
I'm afraid there's been a problem with your X-ray. He's put a sex tape of you up on the internet.
This is where obese people need to step up to the plate, step away from the plate.
So I'm off to give blood, or as I like to call it, self-harm for a biscuit.
People say, give blood, but it really freaked the kids out on Christmas morning.
Welcome to another episode of Bush Doctors, or as I call them, gynecologists.
In just 1 week on a lad's holiday, Kevin got an STD, had his stomach pumped and lost a finger. Legend!
OK, at the end of that round, the points go to Ramesh, Holly and Andy. And that's the end of the show. This week's winners are Rob Beckett, Hugh Dennis and Milton Jones. Commiserations to Andy Parsons, Holly Walsh and Ramesh Ranganathan. Thank you for watching. I'm Dara Breen. Good night. Welcome to Mock the Week. I'm Dara O'Brien. Joining me this week are Andy Parsons, Sarah Pascoe and Rob Beckett, Ramesh Ranganathan, Hugh Dennis and Gary Delaney. We start with a round called If This Is the Answer, What Is the Question? On the board are 6 categories. Sarah, which category would you like?
Politics, please.
OK, the category is politics. The answer is oil, money and missiles. What is the question?
Is that hashtag Iraq War spoilers?
Is it actually how is Chelsea Football Club funded?
Is it the 3 things you need to get on the property ladder?
Is it the rejected title for Tony Blair's autobiography?
Oh.
A lot of Blair fans here.
Yeah, largely. Is it the Middle East version of rock, paper, scissors?
Is it 3 things that A&E nurses have found up people's bottoms?
Is it 3 things America looks for in an enemy?
What tour party are we getting into this show?
There's people over there I've really annoyed who are huge fans of Wars and Tony Blair. I'm very sorry.
Is it, since I've grown a beard, what I'm most likely to be searched for at an airport?
Is it what does Abu Qatada shout at the moment of orgasm?
Dave, I'm going to move you towards the correct answer if I can.
Is it I lost a stone on which diet?
The correct answer is this is things that are going to be affected if Scotland get independence.
That is, yeah...
Whatever it is, it's about Scottish independence.
It is,
or as
Brian.
I like to call it, the Great British Break-Off. Do you know, my big worry about the whole Scottish independence thing is what happened, how they introduced, Friday morning, how they introduced Good Morning Britain.
Well, I presume what happened, if it's a yes vote, is that on one of the Good Morning shows, we will see live footage of Lorraine Kelly being arrested and put into a back of a truck with other well-known Scottish people and being sent back to Scotland to host a show if she wants up there. Who knows how she'll forage for berries or something, I don't know. She and other Scots will simply be driven away and dumped at the border. And I don't applaud that. It's clearly... It hasn't come true, right, Dara? Yeah, that'll show them. That'll show the ones who had no vote.
I'm quite excited for them to go independent, though, because then when I have a Scotch egg, I can claim to like foreign food. Yeah, I eat around. I have some delicacies. Scotch egg. Not even in the UN. How foreign's that?
So special...
The worry, though, is that as the economy collapses, they'll go from Scotch eggs, and all I have in the end is like mini Scotch eggs, which are nicer, in my opinion.
What if it goes really well and they end up really rich and they become like olden time kings and start putting Scotch eggs inside Scotch eggs inside Scotch eggs?
Oh, my God, they're like a duck egg inside like an emu egg, and then they'll get Fabergé to build the outside of it, and then they'll put sausage around the outside of that.
Encase the whole of Scotland in sausage meat.
You're not reverting to calling it Scotchland.
I was talking about Scotch eggs and every day Scotchland. I'm sorry, Scotland.
It's too late now. It's either one way or the other.
I thought Scotch eggs were where Scottish people came from.
I think we're probably not reflecting the tenor of the debate as it occurred for the last 2 weeks.
That's what makes me laugh when they'll say, oh, you can't say anything because it might sway people's opinion. As if they're going to go, oh, well, I was going to write no, but Rob Beckett had a good point about Scotch eggs.
But then, the people who actually did join in during the campaign, how much effect did they have?
None.
Well, I mean, David Cameron, he went up to Scotland and he referred to himself as the effing Tories.
Yeah.
I don't think most Scottish people had any clue what he was talking about. If he'd said seeing Tories...
It sort of came across like one of these teachers that's trying to be all really cool, like, hey, guys, yeah, you know, I know you're worried about the bloody exams, do you know what I mean? It's so hard, isn't it? But I was just listening to some rap music on my way over here, and I just wish I'm totally down with the struggle, do you know what I mean? Shut up, mate.
I don't think you can lose 1/10 of your population and 1/3 of your landmass and stay Prime Minister.
Especially when you're the Prime Minister of the Conservative and Unionist Party, which is their full title.
But today he's got previous, didn't he? He lost his daughter at the pub. I find it funny that all like the banks are having to move and all the businesses having to move. Like, the banks are moving down to England. I feel sorry for the Scottish widow. She's just lost her husband. Now she's got to move country.
One of my biggest worries, genuinely, is that if the Scots go, we lose the most trusted accent in the United Kingdom. If you call up a health call centre, you want someone to go, OK, calm down, sir, I'm a trusted NHS operative, calm down. And what are we left with? Someone go, calm down, calm down! You won't stop breathing, don't worry about it!
Hugh, I really think you might have missed the boat in worrying about call centres moving. People keep talking about what will happen with Scotland's relationship to Europe if they get a yes vote. But what about if they really have enjoyed this process and so they leave the Great Britain and then they decide they want to leave Europe and then they decide they want to leave the world and they just become a second moon orbiting us from above in this idyllic utopia?
Would they still do Scotch eggs?
Yeah.
I think Scotland have to stay in the EU because the very name EU sounds like a Glaswegian trying to start a fight.
What knock-on effect could it have for the EU?
Oh, well, Spain are worried about it, aren't they? Because they'll break up.
Yeah.
Because
the Catalans and the Basques. Yes.
And the Basques.
Yeah.
Belgium is a form of underwear. I don't know how you give a form of underwear independence.
Just take it off.
Yeah.
Oh, OK. The shipping forecast going to be a bit buggered, I think. It's going to have to change.
Is the weather forecast going to pretend that Scotland has no weather?
Well, I think it will probably go...
Are all the weather maps going to stop at Northumberland?
Well, I think it will simply
and the
go...
rain will go to here.
Shipping forecast will go Thames, White, Dover, slight, becoming moderate later. Cromarty, Hebrides, 4th. Get your own forecast.
We know, but we're not going to tell you.
Well, everyone laughed at Mel Gibson in Braveheart, but he predicted this.
Yeah,
Can't take that away from him.
I know. I blame Mel Gibson, and he blames the blacks and the Jews.
Oh, does it? I've not seen that film.
This conspiracy goes really deep, doesn't it? It's a very Braveheart 2 is a very different film.
Yeah.
Sean Connery's come out, though, hasn't he? Sean Connery's come out for...
I'm not surprised.
There's always one person, when somebody says, oh, such and such is gay, I knew. I always knew. I always knew that he and...
Sean Connery supports the Yes campaign but doesn't want to live there. Because he's worried if he obviously lives there, that it'll change the way he speaks and it's going to ruin his vast array of accents. So...
The two sides are saying two different things, aren't they? So the no campaign...
yes and no. That's quite... Fantastic. I'm looking forward to it. You know, particularly just because being Irish, I've stayed out of the whole debate. I found it quite funny from an independent country that people going, well, it's been a very bitter debate here. People were mean to me on Twitter. Oh, really? Oh, were they mean to you on Twitter? During the Irish War of Independence, my granny hid in a ditch from British soldiers for an entire night. So, boo-hoo, Twitter girl. Meanwhile, what has George Osborne asked the public to design?
Is it a plan for the economy?
No, it is not. That's a really bad funny.
It's a new pound coin.
And yes, it is a new pound coin.
It's a new pound coin, but they won't, because it's such a big thing, they're not going to decide, are they, before the referendum's over?
They're not coming out for a few years yet. Should we just not hedge our bets and put Charles on it? Just They talk about designing pound coins. They've been designing pound coins around my way for years. 20 for 15 quid if you're interested.
Do they do their own? I'd like to think the forgers do their own designs. They bang. Oh yeah, that'll be one of mine. That'll be one of mine.
It should be something that reflects the status and value of the pound coin. That's what the design should be, shouldn't it? So, I think the design should probably have a picture of like a shopping trolley on it, and on the other side it should say token.
It's going to have the Queen's head on one side, isn't it?
Yes, that remains.
You know, and obviously, you know, every coin's got a head and a tail, so if it's got the royal head on one side, surely it should have a royal arse on the other side. Prince Andrew, he'd fit the bill, wouldn't he?
They should bring back £1 notes. That was much more fun, wasn't it? It's just everyone feels rich.
That was not in our lifetime, though.
No, but I had one out of currency just because I was like, player.
That was not in your lifetime. What?
No, I'm only young.
Bloody hell. What? Really?
When were you born?
86.
Yeah, it wasn't in your lifetime.
How How long have we been doing this show? I remember it was like Rory Bremner and Frank. Who are these children? I don't know.
One day we'll be sitting in your seats telling people we met you.
Back in the day. You know.
Are we doing before the allegations?
Yeah. At the end of that round, the points go to Ron O'Shear and Gary. Now we come to a round called Mock Eye the News. This game involves Sarah and Gary. So if you could make your way to the performance area, please. This round is a stand-up challenge. I launch the wheel of news, and wherever it chooses to stop, one of our performers must step forward and talk about that subject. OK, let's spin the wheel. The first subject is technology. Who is going? Sarah.
Hello. I'd love to be dictator. I think I'd be absolutely brilliant at it. I think you should all vote for me in your last act of democracy. And then, on my first day, I would ban Facebook. Facebook is my enemy. Right, I'll tell you what happens. My boyfriend will be at home in a different room on his computer, and he'll shout out something that you would think was perfectly innocent, like, "Oh, you never told me that Katie's been to Tunisia." Katie is my most beautiful friend. Right, she's absolutely stunning. She went to Tunisia in 2009. Which means that he's been sitting there going back through 5 years of photographs looking for one of her in a bikini. I blame Facebook. In the olden days, if a man fancied a woman and wanted to see a picture of her in a swimming costume, he had to open a Snappy Snaps near her house and hope that she came in after her holidays. If you wanted to perv, you put some effort in. It should be fun. Just because I'm here on Mock the Week, I just want to tell you something. So there's two things you need to know. My name's Sarah, but without an H, so it's spelled S-A-R-A. And I've always hated that my whole life because people call me Sarah, or they ask me, why don't you have an H on your name? Like I was anything to do with that decision. Also, the other thing is, I've always heard other comedians talking about how you get a lot of abuse on Twitter and people are very horrible to you, and I've never had any. And I thought that's because I was really brilliant and everyone liked me. And then during August, I got contacted, because I'd been on Mock the Week, I got contacted by a lady called Sarah Pascoe with an H. And she said to me, can you warn me the next time that you're on television, because I'm getting a lot of people saying they wish I was dead or infertile. She's a nurse in Exeter. She works like 70 hours a week doing this amazing job, and now she's unwittingly acting as my complaints department. So if you didn't like this, you know who to tell.
Thank you very much, Sarah. That leaves us with Gary. Let's see what topic you have. Let's spin the wheel. The topic is nationalities. Where you go.
My next-door neighbour's really loud and obnoxious, so now I know how Canada feels. I bought some lamb chops. On the packet, it said reared in Wales. I thought that was just a racist stereotype. This morning, I made a Belgian waffle. In the afternoon, I made a Frenchman talk bollocks. In Scotland, the forbidden fruit is fruit. When England played Poland at Wembley, there was 30,000 Polish fans in the crowd, and I thought, well, fair play to them. If I'd built it, I'd want to have a look round as well. I like to annoy my Israeli flatmate by giving him any post that's just addressed to the occupier. I was at an Italian zoo with a Christian friend of mine, so I thought, when in Rome, and pushed him into the lions. Nan's going to that suicide clinic in Switzerland, but don't tell her, it's a surprise. My granddad was killed by a Zulu. He was having a shit at Whipsnade and the roof collapsed.
Well done, very good. Point at the end over to Gary. Thank you very much. Our next round is called Picture of the Week. I show the panel a topical image and ask them to tell me what's happening. So, what's going on here?
That's Boris Johnson, and he's finally got enough rope to hang himself.
This is from a series of photographs, I believe, called Characters of Britain. This is number 4. The Village Idiot.
If you ever wanted a couple of Somali pirates to turn up, take him off.
Is the captain saying, no, I said we need a massive anchor?
Is he surrounded by all the women he's been faithful to?
Is it Boris delivers Waterside Benny Hill tribute act?
Is it Blonde Twat on a Boat?
That was the name of your holiday album, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Does anyone know what it is? What the news story is?
I think it's a news story about Boris Johnson.
I'll give you that. What happened this week? Boris in the news?
Is it about him standing for election?
It is, of course. Thank you very much, Rob. Well done. Rob Beck, very good.
Can't be funny all the time, guys. Get a bit of accuracy.
Of course, that's right. It's a picture of the Mayor of London, Boris Johnson, who this week has been selected as the Conservative candidate for Uxbridge and South Ruislip for the 2015 general election. The people of Uxbridge and South Ruislip are already celebrating. Just getting a mention.
People are worried about him being Prime Minister, saying he shouldn't have his finger on the nuclear button. But let's face it, if Boris saw a button, he'd be more likely to try and undo it than actually press it.
It would probably change Scotland's view of Trident if it was Boris who was in charge of Trident. They'd probably go, yeah, we'll just look after it here. Probably at its best here. We'll take it offline and just leave it here to Glasgow where it's nice and safe.
Is it a good idea, him wanting to be Prime Minister? I mean, the rate we seem to be losing countries at the moment, Mayor of London might be the biggest job going, mightn't it?
You can't have him leading the country. Do me a favour, we can't even lead a conga line. Get lost somewhere.
It's a massive insult to Ed Miliband, though, isn't it? Just like, we could put any old shit in, mate, and you're not going to have a chance.
Cameron and Boris, they're both Eton, both Oxford, both Bullingdon.
Yep.
One of them's really popular, right? And the other one is supposedly out of touch. Maybe David Cameron, instead of getting out of bed, trying to be this sort of clean-cut family man, what he needs to do is get out of somebody else's bed, put his suit on in a hedge.
If he's got a canvas, he's got to get votes, hasn't he? So if someone that famous turned up at your doorstep, right, and wanted your vote, you would have fun with them, wouldn't you? If he turned up, you would go, yeah, I've never voted Tory. Go on. Say whiff-waff. No, go on that bike, fall off it. Yeah.
He is a shagger, though, isn't he? He's had at least 3 affairs. And you think, what are the tabloids waiting for? Paddy Ashdown had 1 affair, got known as Paddy Pantsdown. What are they waiting for, given that Boris's surname is Johnson and his initials are BJ?
Why has Mars been in the news this week?
Referendum. They want... They want independence from the solar system. Yes. It's the big vote they go for. Yeah.
This is basically a Big Brother-style competition where people get to go to Mars. And if you think, if you want to go on a reality TV show and disappear forever, surely just go on X Factor and win it.
Imagine, though, like, the injections you need just to go somewhere like India. Imagine what you need to go Mars. Why do you need 8 years of prep to go Mars? I went Malaga the other week, got on a plane, didn't prep at all, and I was fine. Got on it, got there, got off, and it was hot, but I dealt with it.
Yes, it's the Mars One project, which aims to send 20 people on a one-way trip to the Red Planet within the next decade or so. Do you spot the key word in that sense? And spot the bit that stood out from that?
Is it one...
It's one way. That's the bit that I always note with this, because I know somebody, a scientist in Dublin, who's put himself up for these in the last 700 to make it into this. It's a one-way trip.
Oh, God.
There's no way you're coming back. And this is a Big Brother. We'll all tune in. Grow to love these characters. Slowly watch them die. Slowly send back recorded messages from the panel going, well, Bob's dead.
Is that Geordie who does a voiceover going with them? Is he going to go, Dear 3... and I can't help thinking I've made a crap decision.
But it's going to be 2022, isn't it? When they can get up there. Which at the same time, they think they should move the Qatar World Cup there. Because it won't be as hot, it'll be more hospitable and less people will die getting it ready.
It's a reality TV show where people might actually be watched to, like, suffocate, starve to death or just die of old... It's going to be worse than Splash.
So there'll be a load of people applying this, like, well, I'm a astrobiologist. Well, I'm an intergalactic geologist. I'm Terry! I do a bit of DJ in the weekend, event management. I'm the vibe master. And while the rocket is on thing, you just hear this grime coming out of it. Terry, turn it off. No!
Why do you always do my voice for idiots? This is class war, people.
I'm Teddy the Welsh DJ. That's it now. I'm going to bring the vibes to space. I can't keep this up much longer.
You keep doing that Welsh accent, Romesh will be offended as well.
I'm part Welsh. But the things that they want to do it in teams of 4, and they want each of those 4 people to come from a different continent, because it's not difficult enough being up on Mars. Let's throw a language barrier in there as well.
There is a famous story of a Russian cosmonaut. There were 2 of them up on the Mir space station one stage, going for 6 months, just the 2 of them, and they really couldn't get on, didn't get on at all, right? And they were at opposite ends of the space station.
Imagine the atmosphere.
And it was... and one of them said, I contemplated suicide while I was up there.
God.
But you can't hang yourself in space. That's just... At the end of that round, the points go to Rob, Sarah and Andy. Now we come to scenes we'd like to see. So if everyone can make their way over to the performance area, I'll read out this week's topics and then we'll see what our panellists can come up with. The first subject is unlikely things to hear at an award show.
And the Oscar goes to a prison in South Africa.
Welcome to the National Taxi Driver Awards.
And the winner of Spiritualist Medium of the Year goes to... I'm getting a D. David, Duncan, Trevor. Trevor it is.
And the Pride of Britain Award goes to Scotland.
And the award goes to 12 Years a Slave for most challenging work experience placement.
And the award for most dramatic pause in an award ceremony goes to...
Sadly, he can't be with us tonight, so to collect the award on his behalf, Chief Inspector Harris of Operation Yewtree.
And the prize goes to Dawn of the Planet of the Apes. Unfortunately, Dawn couldn't be here tonight, so... In order to collect the prize, please welcome Sharon of the Planet of the Apes.
Thank you so much, thank you so much. But I just have to say that I was shit and you should give it to Judy.
And the award for most disappointing sound effect in a TV show goes to...
This is the Identity Theft Awards, and I'm your host, Dara O'Brien.
And a spectacular entrance from Lady Gaga. She should probably cover that up.
And the winner of this year's Academy Award is St Joseph's Academy, Prestatyn.
And here, at the SatNav Awards, we'd like just to take a moment to remember the people we've lost this year.
Welcome to the National OCD Awards. I've got a feeling someone's going to clean up tonight.
Thank you for awarding me Sexual Fetishist of the Year. And let me tell you, this is going straight up my arse.
OK, the next topic is... unlikely lines from a romantic novel.
This is the last time that we can be together, he said.
Aren't you going to say something?
Yes, 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 cried Alex Salmond.
As Christian Grey tied her to the bed using some cotton stretch slacks and then started beating her around the back with some Sicilian lemon cheesecake, she suddenly realised that he was heavily into M&S.
It's for you, she said. My hair in a locket. Oh, fuck it. I wanted that cough sweet.
Harold ran his hand up Connie's thigh. She giggled, made a note of it, and later on got £60,000 at a sexual harassment tribunal.
I want your breasts, your legs, your thighs. I'm on the phone to Nando's, love. What do you want?
He searched her eagerly with his tongue, its tip exploring every crevice, every orifice. God, he loved being a customs officer.
Sarah's love made him feel like a young boy again, so he went off to find one.
She found him on Tinder and lost him on Grindr.
When she was in the shower, he went through her iPhone and found something disgusting. She came out as he was leaving. Come back! It wasn't me. They gave them free to everyone. I'd never download a U2 album.
They gazed into each other's eyes, and their thoughts were so in tune. They both thought the exact same thing. You'll do.
Sean knew that the love of his life had to have a good sense of humour, because while she was laughing, she wouldn't be watching her drink. Sean, it's not even me, for God.
He looked at her naked body, and then he looked into her eyes. His heart started pounding, and he felt a tingling sensation. What a shit time to have a coronary.
For the first time in her life, she reached a shuddering, juddering orgasm. She had no idea that such a thing could happen if you leant against the hot point during the spin cycle.
As Mr. Darcy kissed her neck, she flushed angrily. Get out! I'm having a shit!
At the end of that round, the points go to Rob, Sarah and Andy. And that's the end of the show. This week's winners are Andy Parton, Sarah Pascoe and Rob Beckett. Commiserations to Ramesh Ranganathan, Hugh Dennis and Gary Delaney. Thank you for watching. I'm Dara Breen. Good night.